All right, friends, it's T, and I'm back with a new video, bro. And I told you, as soon as I come out with more stuff about eccentric exercise and micro tears and micro damage, here come all the videos. They start talking about it all over again. All over again, they start making videos. So here's a guy. He's doing the same video. His name is Eugene. I know his channel. I'm going to do a reaction video to it, this gym lifting slave. Fitness advice everyone gets wrong and what to do instead. Okay, let's see what he has to say about this.
Working out is simple. You go to the gym, pick things up, put them down, try your hardest, happy days. But there are a few sneaky little misconceptions that have surprisingly big impacts on how you train and the results you get. The worst part is, many of these myths are so mainstream that the majority of people believe them to be true and wind up doing the complete opposite of what's most effective for their goals. In this video, I'll take you through these different myths. We'll discover why they're misleading, and I'll also give you practical tips for each one. So by the end of this video,
yes, I can't wait. Please do, yes.
You'll know exactly what to do to get the most out of your workouts. Working out creates micro tears in your muscle that your body rebuilds as bigger muscles. The more blood...
Oh, it does it? So it causes micro tears and then it rebuilds bigger and stronger. Then how come you're not getting bigger then? If that's what exercise does, it's so simple. It just causes micro tears every time you come in there and you just keep getting bigger and stronger. If that was true, then every factory worker would be fucking massive, dude. You're so full of shit.
You're going to create these micro tears. That's when the nutrients get in the muscle, and that's when it actually grows. You guys take pre-workout?
Yeah, they're just going to get these micro tears, and these nutrients are just going to go in there. You're going to get massive. So every time a factory worker or fucking construction workers or whoever keep lifting heavy ass shit 6 hours a day, whoa, they must be bigger than the Incredible Hulk. Fucking get it? Because they got these micro tears, and they got these nutrients in there, and now they're massive as shit, bro. This guy's another, look how skinny he is. He's full of shit himself.
This was true, the more damage you create, the more muscle you will grow. Now,
yeah, if that's true, the more damage you create, the more muscle you grow. But guess what? You're not damaging any muscles. You understand me? You're not damaging. That's your problem. That's why you're not growing. It's very specific how muscles get damaged. See what I mean? Very, very, very specific. And it takes a lot of force. And it's usually in the eccentric form. That's where it gets damaged. And then in order for it to keep getting damaged, it needs to take on heavier and heavier eccentric loads to keep getting the weaker, deeper, weaker muscle fibers damaged so that they come back bigger and stronger all the time. See what I mean? So these are not things you're doing on your job. And that's why it's protected. It's number one, it's protected from damage for sure. It's very difficult to damage them. Number two, you're not usually doing eccentric heavy loads, get it? In jobs that you're working at. You're not going to constantly go and try to keep adapting your muscles by constantly doing heavier and heavier eccentrics on a job with a box or a bag of cement or whatever you're doing there. Get it? So these are things you're trying to get. So you have to do very specific stuff to get what you want in the gym, bro. Get it? Yeah.
When you put it like that, you can probably see the issue. Getting injured creates significant damage, but your muscle...
Well, if you're injured, of course, you're screwed now, right? That's not micro injury. That's a severe injury.
Don't come back significantly larger. But that's extreme, and life is not lived in the extremes. The more mainstream take on this is that the more muscle damage you can create by pushing yourself in the gym.
By pushing yourself doesn't create micro damage. Heavy overload eccentrics are what cause damage.
The better your results, especially with things...
Yeah, the better your results. But now you have this steroid guy over here that looks like less of a man of himself. He's so skinny and small. Tom Platz. I call him Tom Little Man. Little Man here, steroid man, off his steroids, no strength left, no nothing, is trying to train other people in his failure. He failed at doing concentric lifts, trying to eke out gains out of concentric lifts, which didn't work, so he took steroids, get it? You understand me? And then he faked it. He got the same results, zero. He just got artificial results, artificial in the gym. And so he's trying to pass it on to somebody here. It's not going to work. It doesn't work. That's why they keep failing. They keep failing, bro. Get it? It's stupid.
like pre-exhaust, drop sets, giant sets, force reps, and other pain-inducing work.
Yeah, none of those force reps, inducing reps, drop sets, and all this shit doesn't work. You need to progressively overload the eccentric to keep getting gains, to keep them to keep coming back.
Out intensity techniques. But that's kind of the opposite of what we want for more gains. Every time you go to work out, you are going to stimulate what we will call the gains, also known as muscle protein synthesis. Now,
Oh, you're stimulating proteins, protein synthesis. Man, if you do concentric exercise, there's a window for protein breakdown and a window for protein synthesis. And what about it? You're not building any muscle because you never triggered the growth factors in your body. What triggers it? Damage. Where does the muscle get damaged? Eccentrically, duh.
when you first start working out, you're going to see a lot more damage, and that's going to go down over time.
And why is that? Why is it going down over time? Because over time, you're going to progressively overload the concentric, right? You're going to keep lifting concentrically heavier and heavier, right? That's in your mind. You think if I have to lift, I have to overload the concentric, go heavier. I have to get a stronger nervous system. I have to get a stronger nervous system so that my muscles will grow. But guess what? That doesn't trigger growth. Getting a strong nervous system doesn't trigger growth, muscles to grow. What triggers muscles to grow is the eccentric, get it? Damage, muscle damage, da. So these people here, when they're lifting these weights, it's already adapted. Your eccentric is already adapted to this concentric lifting, the nervous system. So when you're lowering the weight, you're going up heavy, but every time you lower the weight, notice how the X's are going down. Because every time you lower the weight, it's too light going down. See what I mean? It's heavy going up, but going very light going down. And at some point, it's not even controlled anymore. You're just swinging the weight. It's not even controlled.
It's also when you're going to see the least amount of muscle growth, because most of this muscle protein synthesis...
Because that's based on concentric training. That's why it goes down. There's no more damage because you were getting it from the eccentric when you first started. Now the eccentric is adapting and it's going down and down. And as the weight goes down, it's going lighter than it is going up.
Gains is being directed towards repairing this damage instead of building more muscle. Over time, as we see less and less...
No, it's repairing and remodeling and building muscle there. That's the point. What it does is repairs and remodels muscle a lot stronger, so it's resilient from further assaults from your exercises. That's what happens. So what do you need to do to assault it? You need to go heavier on the eccentric, get it? So that you can damage it, you have to overload the eccentric. You don't overload the concentric. If you overload the concentric, it's lighter on the eccentric. Get it? It does the opposite. Da.
Damage, these same gains that are being stimulated can now be directed towards building more muscle. And that is...
No, it can't. No, it can't. It's being stimulated towards building more what? Nervous system strength. Nervous system to be good at being a lifting slave at the concentric form. That's what it's doing.
What we see over time. This usually happens after a few weeks on the same muscle building plan. So maybe we...
No, it doesn't. Now you're pump training, so you're getting sarcoplasmic training because you're sticking to concentric lifting. You're getting something called sarcoplasmic if you're eating carbohydrates and pumping.
4, 5, 6, and beyond. There will always be some damage when you go to workouts, but
there will be some damage. Yeah, you get hypoxia and oxidative damage now because you're a good lifting slave. This is the most ridiculous exercise that I've ever seen in my life. Why the fuck would anybody put a fucking weightlifting bar on their fucking elbows and lift it up and down? Listen, bodybuilding is not a sport, bro. It's not a fucking show and tell. It's not for performance. We don't perform in gyms, get it? So this is ridiculous training.
Goal should be to minimize it and not maximize it. You want less...
This is stupid training, stupid shit. Get you injured and then fuck you and you won't be able to train anymore.
Less damage and fatigue for the same amount, if not more, stimulus for muscle building.
He's not getting any damage or fatigue because going down is too light now.
Think of your workouts.
It was even light going up, so it's going even lighter going down.
It's your opportunity to turn on this light. So as you do your warm-up sets, you've turned on the light, but the dimmer switch is down low. Because since it's a warm-up,
Yeah, your dim switch in your brain is down low. You have no brain because the switch is down very low, bro.
you don't need to use all of your muscles, and it's not going to cause much growth. But as you get into your work sets and those truly challenging 5 or 6 reps towards the end of a work set, we turn that dimmer switch up
You recruit more muscles in the eccentric form than you would concentrically doing eccentric overload because there's more weight going down. So you recruit a lot more in the nervous system. You recruit more of the nervous system. You recruit more muscle fibers, a whole bunch of stuff. They have to be recruited because now the weaker ones come out and they get damaged, and then they grow bigger and stronger.
you can see more gains. This is when you're getting the highest stimulus. In nerdy terms, this is when your body's activated all the high threshold motor units to lift the weight. Once you've done this, any more work isn't going to turn the light on anymore because we've already maxed it out. If you did a drop set now, or more force reps, or partial reps, or a giant set, or a superset, you'll get more damage, which you have to recover from.
No, you won't. You won't get any damage from it. He's lying. He's lying to you. You're not going to get any damage from that. You only get damage from progressive overload, eccentric overload. That's it.
Which will take away from your gains. This is why it's possible to build muscle using literally one single set. I think we need more than one.
Yeah. You want to know what that one set is literally that you need to build a muscle? It's really simple. A heavy eccentric overload. One set can literally damage that muscle and trigger the growth factor. Yeah. That's it.
Set and one exercise for a muscle group because we have different regions like the upper versus.
Yeah, you could go in and just do one group, one set of, I don't know, 12 repetitions, each body part doing one set of 12 reps. That's it. Progressively overloading it heavily on the eccentric. That's it. You could literally do that. Come in, I don't know, every week or something. Just do it like that if you want. I don't know. It's up to you. I do more than that. I would do more than that. That's not enough damage. But yeah.
Lower chest or the upper back, like your traps and rhomboids versus your lats. But
the problem is every time you come back, it's more about intensity and duration. The duration has to be longer. It's an overworking of that muscle. You need to overwork it to damage it.
Primary goal isn't to create more damage, it's to accumulate hard sets using maximum effort. So here's how.
No, it's not. It's to create damage. So you have some stimulus to grow muscle. Duh.
How it might look for something like back. To start, we'll do a vertical pulling exercise like a pull-up. We'll do 2 sets of around 6 to 12 reps. Next, we'll go into something.
He's 2 sets of 6 to 12 reps. Well, that's not enough. I would stick to at least 5 by 12, not 6 reps, 12 reps.
That's a horizontal pull, like maybe a cable row or a barbell row, whatever you feel like. Again, we'll do 2 sets of around.
No, that's too little. You always want 5 by 12 is much more optimal. 5 by 10, let's just say 5 by 10. 5 by 10 is much more optimal for every single muscle group.
6 to 12 reps. If you're more advanced, you might add in another exercise, but that there covers most of your base.
Again, his exercises are concentric. He's just pushing down. He's pushing his ass cheek squeezing.
I choose 2 sets per exercise instead of 1, just in case, because I know we've all done this before, where we've done a hard set.
Again, this is an eccentric. This isn't an eccentric overload. That weight went down way too light. Way too light. But can you get this? Can you get that bicep to damage if you're doing it still? If you're doing it that light and that heavy, going up and down with that same weight, yeah. But guess what? You're gonna have to stay there forever doing multiple sets, bro. Probably if you did 30 sets of 10, maybe there would be some damage in there. So an overworking of that muscle, not overtraining, overworking it to damage it with that little shitty weight there.
Of 6 to 10 reps where you think to yourself, yes, I turned on that light bulb, but then your gym crush comes in and sits on the bench next to you, and somehow, magically, you take that exact same weight and pull out 20
Yes, bring a steroid person on, that's it.
reps on it instead. Easy. There's also another reason why I do more than 1 set, which we'll come back to in our final myth. You want to do the same exercises again and again and again each week, because mixing it up
You want to do the same exercises again and again and again every single week. Because mixing it up is what?
Time also means more damage. Over time, you should build up.
Overtime means more damage, and how come nobody's growing? Where's the damage? I don't see any damage. Listen, dude, hypoxia and oxidative damage just stresses you and ages you. It doesn't create damage or a stimulus to growth.
A repository of exercises that work really well for you, that feel good, and that you enjoy. You stick with them and don't mix them up just for the sake of it. Myth number 2, slow is better.
Control, 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 control. Weight, rack.
I think just about every lifter goes through the slow phase. Intentionally going slower on either lifting or the lowering portions of an exercise is probably not doing what we thought it was. If you can deliberately slow down an exercise during the lifting portion, that tells me the weight is too easy for you. And if it's easy for you, the lights are turned on, but that dimmer switch is turned way down. Eventually you will get tired and it will become challenging, and this dimmer switch here will start to turn up, but you've just done all those earlier slow tiring reps just to tire yourself out for these last reps. Meanwhile, you could have just lifted at a regular pace and saved yourself a lot of time and energy. Going slow is good to work around pain or injuries, or if you don't have a lot of weight available because you're traveling in a hotel gym with limited equipment, or if it feels good for you personally on a particular movement. But as a blanket technique, it's not essential. Now, what about the lowering portion? The mainstream idea is that your body is stronger on the lowering or eccentric portion, and this is more anabolic, so you should spend more time there. There have been some studies showing...
Yes, I will agree. That's what you're supposed to do. It's more anabolic. Why is it anabolic? Because that's stimulus to growth. That's where it stimulates the bottom, yes. Eccentric.
more gains on the eccentric, but this only happens if you're able...
Not more gains. You get real gains doing eccentric. You get myofibrillar growth, unlike sarcoplasmic growth concentrically lifting.
To overload this lowering portion significantly. In terms of speed, we do have a lot of good research comparing slower to faster eccentrics, showing no significant difference. Dr. Mike Israetel is probably best...
Yeah, I'll tell you, you need to do rapid firing. You need to move the weight very quickly. It's type 2 muscle fibers that we're targeting in the eccentric form. That's what you need to do. It needs to be rapid pulling. You don't want to stay there all day going really slow. That's too taxing. That's too taxing on the body.
Known for his use of slow, controlled movements, with many of his workout videos showing 5 or 6 second lowerings.
Slow control doesn't work because it's too light. It's too light, slow control, because look, it went up easy, down. It's the same weight, adapted, whatever. There's nothing going on here.
With an intentional pause. But if you look at how he actually lifts, it's a very different story. Here's what he had to say about it.
Once I have an eccentric pace, there's great SFR, and I'm used to it, then I'm just locked in.
And I think that's important, isn't it? Because a lot of people will see, like, maybe me lifting very slow, and then or you lifting fast, and be like, hang on, what's the right one tempo? But it should be, well, we're trying to find the goal of SFR,
yes.
Not 8 seconds or not 2 seconds.
Right, and there's no wrong answers. Could be 8, could be 2, could be anything between.
Yeah. If you want to go slower,
Yeah, okay.
on a certain exercise to help you learn a movement or display more consistent technique rep to rep, go for it. I do this a lot, but as a general rule, you're not missing out on any gains if you follow a more natural tempo to your lifts. If anything,
If you say so. Like I said, a lot of people are just building sarcoplasmic muscle, doing concentric training, because that's what it builds. It builds something artificial because it's based on performance and endurance. And if it's based on endurance, performance, and you're coming in often to the gym doing concentric, that is sarcoplasmic training. Volume training, we call it volume training, expanding the volume of the sarcoplasm.
find if I go slow, I wind up spending so much mental effort focusing on the speed that I can't focus on what really matters, which is pushing hard. I think this is where many people fall into this trap of trying to dial in perfect technique.
Those knees come in.
Okay.
All of a sudden, this is not supporting, and a lot of that force is going to go somewhere, and oftentimes to the low back.
I would love to tell you that there is such thing as perfect technique that you can hyperanalyze and dial in. One that
There is a perfect technique. The perfect technique is eccentric overload training. That's it.
keeps you free from injuries, allows you to lift for the rest of
Yes, it keeps you free from injuries. It strengthens you. It makes you stronger so you're resilient from any type of injury or anything like that. That's the whole point, man. That's the whole point.
your life and make endless gains. And most importantly,
And it makes you make endless gains, but as long as you keep overloading the eccentric, that's it. And you will be able to overload it because you'll get bigger and you'll get stronger all the time.
more gains than if you had less than perfect technique. But I'm sorry, folks, it doesn't exist. Katrina, Sherelle, and myself are all roughly the same height, but we have surprisingly different...
It does exist. He's lying to you. It just doesn't exist for him because he doesn't know what he's doing. He's doesn't have enough experience. You can tell when he's speaking. There's no experience, bro. He'd know these things already. Doesn't matter if he makes a mistake the way he's speaking or something. I make mistakes in my videos too sometimes. I'm not perfect. I'm just saying, you can tell, and your experience would tell you, he would know, but he doesn't know. He's just putting out stuff that's like on paper or book or something he read somewhere, or he saw another video or somebody.
Different structures. Katrina's got femurs longer than most people's relationships, and while Sherelle has a more balanced structure, she also has the ankle mobility of concrete. Jackson and I are nearly the same height sitting down, but my long torso can't keep up with his long legs once we're standing. Perfect
Yeah, because bigger, stronger. He's a bigger dude. He has a bigger frame. He grew much bigger than you.
technique isn't one textbook standard that applies to everyone. It's a broad spectrum of possibilities that you have to individualize to your body based on a few key principles. Number one, what muscles do you want to target? Number two, what setup lets you take those muscles through a large range of motion? Number three, what setup reduces strain elsewhere so the target area is most likely to fatigue first? Number four, what allows for efficiency in movement and consistency rep to rep? If Katrina uses the same stance and higher bar position as me, she ends up folding forwards. This puts more strain on the lower back and less on her quads. If she tried to get more upright, she'd topple over backwards. But if she took a front squat technique, elevated her heels and took a slightly wider stance, she'd be able to squat more upright, reducing strain on the lower back and increasing the strain on her quads. Whatever the
Okay, that's not going to do anything. That's too light. That's not building muscles. I don't know what he's talking about.
deadlifts or dive bomb their squats.
You know, the thing with Bugenhagen, he had to fake it. He does a lot of concentric heavy lifting. The body wasn't matching the lift, so what did he do? He took steroids to fake the look. And then, of course, steroids make you lift even heavier. So he keeps doing the same failure. Concentric does not build bodies like that. It's a lie.
Move with a lot of body English. Some like to take their time and move a little bit slower. There's no right
That's
or wrong.
right. That's why all the natural power lifters out there, they complain that bodybuilders are bigger than them because they want the body to match the lift, and it doesn't work that way. Your lifts are based on nervous system going against gravity. When you go with gravity, that's how your body grows. You understand me? When you land on this planet from outer space and you land on this planet, gravity is pulling you. So because gravity is pulling you down, your body expands. It gets big and strong, your muscles and your bones. But if you go out in space and you float around, guess what? You're going to be skinny. Why? Because there's no gravity, get it? There's no gravity, dude. So when you do eccentric overload training, you're moving with gravity. The velocity, it's pulling you, the heavy weight. Yeah, man, it's pulling down on your body. It's going to cause micro tears in your bone and your muscle. And they're going to come back bigger and stronger to handle heavier loads that are going against gravity. Going with gravity. But if you go against gravity, that's the opposite.
Right or wrong for you. And as much as certain techniques may look dangerous, the only truly dangerous
I would say Arnold did a lot of stretching, even though, he didn't really need to. I mean, he's just take his steroids in last couple of months before he would show up at the Olympia. But he did do a lot of these so-called stretching exercises. But he was adapted already at this point because he lifts every single day in the gym. He's adapted. And there's some eccentric, a lot of work, there's some here and there, but a lot of it's concentric, it's phony, it's sarcoplasmic. That's why he says, if I want a little bit of muscle here, I do this, I pump up this area, I pump up the muscle in this area, and then I get a little bit muscle in there. Yeah, you pump it with the sarcoplasm and you get a little bit of muscle in there. That's what you get, yeah.
position is the one you're not prepared for. We can't avoid many of these movements in everyday life. So instead
I don't know what this has to do with anything, these so-called movements and everything with building muscle. This guy's like off on a tangent.
of hyperfixating on perfect technique, it kills your game.
Whatever.
The interference effect, where the catabolic
This shit kills your gains. This is garbage.
signals that your body gets from doing cardio
Cardio shit.
or fat loss. It's about strengthening and improving
I
the
don't do any cardio. Will do some sprints here and there, specific things. Maybe play basketball, play some sports, swim or something, or ice skate. But I ain't doing no fucking cardio.
function of your heart, lungs. Do your cardio away from lifting sessions
No.
to minimize
Cardio damages your heart. Don't ever do cardio, dude. This is stupid what this guy's doing here.
the extra stress on my body. Lastly, I'd keep a
Yeah, that's all you want to do is put more stress on your body so you could die young and age fast and destroy your heart. Okay.
close eye on my lifting performances long term, and if I
Yes, lifting slave, yes.
range of plans for mobility, cardio.
Harder than last time. Progressive overload.
The myth is that you must
Yeah, go harder than last time. Progressive overload, but not concentrically, you fool. Eccentrically, go overload. Huh?
add weight or reps every time you work out if you want to see
Yeah, you should add weight in the eccentric form, not concentric.
gains. And if you can't, you're fine. Or thinking you're going backwards when you can't lift more every week.
Oh, brother, man. These people, this is pure failure.
While the other sets realistic pace, the progress is so several weeks on the same weights and reps and still.
This is stupid. You know that you can only fly. You're flying this weight. You're literally flying it. You're just bouncing it kind of up with your shoulders. You understand me? And the range of motion of your shoulder can go all the way across to the other side. You need it to stretch out to damage. It doesn't stretch here at the side of the body. It just stays at the same position. You understand me? There's a big rotation in your shoulder. The more you can fix the rotation, a wider, longer range of rotation, the more chances you have of damaging that muscle. But you should be placing all emphasis on the shoulder and not on the arm. That weight is all the way at the end. It's too light. It's too light. It's not doing any. This is pump training.
Will make progress. It'll be a little less than
Make zero progress here.
workout. Eventually, you'll be able to get
This exercise too, zero progress. This is concentric. It's too light.
12 reps. Then you increase the weight by 1.
You'd have to do that same weight right there. You'd have to do 30 sets of that, of 10, just to get a minute amount of damage in there. Unless, of course, he's doing full upper body, so then you just work every single muscle doing like 5 by 10, and then, yeah, you'll get this damage to come back. Sure, that's more comfortable, a lot easier. Yeah, some people find that more comfortable. Okay, you can do that, and then come back next week, repeat. You know, it depends. Or you could just do, if you want just really massive gains and you're in a hurry, just do eccentric progressive overload. That's it, bro. Get hit.
Increment and go back down to 6. You're not going backwards. You don't need to switch programs.
Yeah. You just need to do eccentrics. That's it. Eccentric. How you do that eccentric is up to you. Whether you do full body, do 5 by 10, or if you do full body and you just do heavy eccentric loads and you still do, I don't know, 5 by 10 or 3 by 10 or whatever you're doing for each set, but massively heavy on the eccentric. That's it. That's all you have to really focus on. I don't know. There isn't anything else to say there. And it'll get you super, super strong to lift heavy weights, even in the concentric form. And you'll be massive at the same time. So the body will fit the image of lifting a heavy weight. See you in the next one. Ciao, friends. Tell me what you think about that. Like, subscribe, support the channel. Tell you, as soon as I come out with this, other channels, they keep talking about muscle damage. Bang.